Last month, during the hearing on the Climate Action Plan, I spent a bulk of my time raising concerns about the Environmental Protection Agency's rollout of its greenhouse gas regulations, which I found to be alarmingly hypocritical. On the one hand, the administration says these regulations are urgently needed. On the other hand, the EPA intentionally delayed the rule's publication to prevent it from being implemented prior to the midterm elections this fall. This is kind of reminiscent of the last elections that we had. And does anyone other than me care that fewer than, I understand, and I say to my good friend that, and we are good friends, that while I don't agree on this, neither do the majority of people in the United States Senate or in the House, because they can't get more than, 35 votes is all you could get today on to a bill to legislatively allow the EPA to regulate greenhouse gases. We know this is true, and we've been there before. So now they're trying to do what they couldn't do with legislation through regulation, and the cost of these is pretty alarming. Now, what's more concerning is that the similar behavior taking place across the government, including the Fish and Wildlife Service. The Bald Eagle, the Golden Eagle Protection Act passed in 1940, and it protects our national bird from hunting, poaching, and other activities that could harm it. The act states that without a permit, it is illegal to take, possess, or sell or purchase any bald eagle. Wind turbines with their massive blades kill an estimated 1.4 million birds a year as the turbines spin through the air. Some of these casualties have been protected birds like the bald eagle. Federal law stipulates that the illegal killing of bald eagles be punished with fines and or jail sentences, but this won't be the case for the wind industry. On December 6th of 2013, the administration said that it would begin granting waivers to wind farm operators so that they would be able to kill bald eagles for a period of 30 years without fear of any retribution. That's pretty shocking. And while I'm not particularly bothered by the fact that permits are being offered, I am extremely concerned by the systematic practices of this administration to use its powers to help its friends in the renewable energy while punishing its enemies developing traditional fossil fuels. Other species receive similar protections to the bald eagle under the Endangered Species Act. One covered species, the American burrowing beetle, many of which are located in eastern Oklahoma. For the past 2 years, eastern Oklahoma has been without a general conservation plan, making it illegal to engage in nearly all activities that could disturb the ABB. Despite repeated attempts by my office, the state of Oklahoma, and dozens of private entities, we have not managed to get anything out of the service. This is a big deal because many companies are planning to build new neighborhoods, develop new oil and gas wells, and construct new pipelines, but because of the GCP is not, its effect is not final, they can't do it. When this is compared to the new permits in the service may offer wind industry, I can't think, but this is a startling double standard. Justice is supposed to be blind. Treatment of different industries is supposed to be equal under the law, including the energy industry. And while the president says that he has an all-of-the-above energy strategy, evidence shows, whether the EPA or the Fish and Wildlife Service, that his real strategy is focused primarily on restricting traditional fossil fuels while assisting the development of renewables. This favoritism also extends to the way the government thinks about the adaptability of our nation to changing circumstances. Renewable energy requires massive amounts of land to make very small quantities of power, but the government seems to ignore this fact. One recently constructed solar farm takes up 5 square miles, but only makes enough electricity to power 140,000 homes. And by contrast, a typical natural gas powered plant may in total take up only a half of a square mile, but can generate enough power to support over 1 million homes. So despite the true impacts of renewables on the environment, the administration continues to turn a blind eye to them. It's my hope that during this hearing we'll be able to uncover some of the facts and provide a better framework for comparing the relative benefits and costs of the different forms of energy. And again, I would just repeat what I said earlier. Ever since the Kyoto Treaty, I say to our chairman, we've gone through this thing, and I can recall the first bill to be introduced was not really a Democrat bill. It was the McCain-Lieberman bill. It was soundly defeated. This is 12 years ago. There have been several others, one by a new member of this committee that I'm sure will be here, my very good friend from Massachusetts. But they have not been able to get enough votes to even get a third of the vote out of the Senate and less than a third in the House. So there's something wrong with the system. I say to my chairman that we're able to go ahead and do through regulation what they have tried over and over again for 12 years to get through legislation unsuccessfully. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Always